Hi guys, welcome back to Salem Stitches. Today I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this beautiful cowl kimono I'm wearing. If you were interested, watch till the end. Okay, let's get straight into it.
So now the first thing I went ahead to do is to fold my fabric into 4. Okay, I folded first of all into 2 like this. Then I also went ahead to fold it again into 4. So as you can see it on the floor here, my fabric is folded into 4. After getting this first step now, I went ahead as well to pin it down just to secure it down because it is a chiffon fabric and it is shaky. We don't want to start marking and then our fabric will not be stable. Okay, after getting that second step right, the next thing we need to do now, guys, is to determine the full length of your kimono. This kimono is a 3/4 kimono, so for me I am using 42 inches as the full length of the kimono plus half-inch seam allowance. After getting that part, the next thing I went ahead to do now is to indicate my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. I went ahead and marked 7 inches right here at this point. Okay, after getting your 7 inches shoulder, you are going to go ahead and determine the length, the sleeve length of your kimono. Okay, this kimono is not a kimono that has a seam on the shoulder. All right guys, so we don't need to come down by 1 inch or half-inch shoulder slope. Okay, no need for that. You're just going to go ahead and take the measurement of your sleeve. For me, I am using 20 inches as my full sleeve length. Okay, but I'm going to deduct 2 inches from that 20 inches because I want to attach a band to it at the end of the day. So after minusing my 2 inches for the cuffs, I am going to have 18 inches. Okay, so from this point of the shoulder, go ahead and mark whatever you want as your sleeve length. Okay, so now I am going to take 18 inches, and 18 inches for me is this very point where the fabric ends. After that, now I'm going to go ahead and come down by how wide I want my sleeve to be. Okay, now I'm just going to take a random measurement with my tape measure. I also want to have a small gathers at the end of the sleeve, so I will use 14 inches because it is wide enough for me. Now divide that 14 inches by 2. That is if you are using 14 inches, but you can use 16, you can use 18, whatever you prefer. Okay guys, divide it by 2 now and mark it down here. So for me, 14 inches divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. I added half-inch seam allowance here. That will now give me 7.5 inches. Okay, after marking it down, we want to come in on that point by 1 inch just to get a little sleeve definition. Okay, so that it's going to be a little bit different from the remaining body of the kimono. Now coming by 1 inch here. After getting this one, we are going to go to the down part of the kimono, the ending part here, and then you are going to measure your round hip circumference and divide it by 4 and indicate it right here. After that, add half-inch seam allowance. So for me, my round hip circumference divided by 4 was 9.5, so I went ahead and marked it down here. Then I added half-inch for seam allowance, and this is the point here. Now after you are done with all this, we are going to go ahead and connect our kimono from this point like this down to the hip line. Okay, but to do this connection, you're not going to do a straight connection. Okay guys, go ahead and curve it a little bit in a circular form. I went ahead to use my hip curve to achieve this very beautiful curve you can see here. If you don't have a hip curve, you can just use your free hand, but for me, I have this hip curve and it is wide enough, so I just went ahead and use it. So guys, after marking all our relevant measurements, we're going to go ahead now and cut. So guys, after cutting out our fabric like this now, I'm going to go ahead now and notch the shoulder point. This is because there is no opening here. I need to be able to identify the point of the shoulder after disarranging this fabric. Okay, so now I'll just make a tiny notch here, and as well on the center front I'm also going to make a little notch right there. When you are working with fabrics like this, do take note to do that. Okay, on this point as well, I am going to notch it so that this won't confuse me. After that, now I am going to separate the back from the front. It is still joined together because the shoulder is not separated, okay? But then I'm just going to use this part as my front part now, okay? So what I will do now is to fold it this way now. Because of the notch that we made, you can see that it is easy for me to identify which part is the shoulder and which part is not. Now, go ahead and fold your fabric like this. Remember that this is a kimono jacket, okay? So the front is open. So that is why now we need to go ahead and measure out the front. So to do that now, I'll go ahead to arrange my fabric down like this. So guys, after arranging your fabric like this, on the front piece, on the neck depth, you are just going to draw out a straight line that will connect to this point, okay? This point on the hip line here where our hip circumference stops, but you are not going to touch that half inches because it is going to be for seam allowance, okay? So I'm just going to use my ruler to achieve that. So guys, after drawing out this line now, from this point down to the point of our hip circumference divided by 4, I'm just going to go ahead and cut. Now that we are done, this is what you are going to have after you have cut down your fabric. Now I'll go ahead and take this to my sewing machine now and join the sides of this kimono together, okay? By the time I join it, we are going to have this opening right here for the front slit. This is how it's going to be. The front is going to be open like this, okay, by the time we are done. So now I'll go ahead to my sewing machine now and I'm going to stitch it. So guys, I have gone ahead to join the side of my kimono and this is how it's looking. And also I went ahead to attach the neck band or the collar of my kimono. I didn't know that my phone was not recording, so I couldn't capture that on camera. But the length of the collar is 38 inches. I added 1 inch for seam allowance and that's 39 inches. And the width of the collar is 2.5 inches. I added ½ inch for seam allowance. So if you want to cut your own, that is the measurement you need to use, okay? And also as well, I have gone ahead now to cut out the cuff that I'm going to attach on my kimono. Remember that we left an opening here for our sleeve and we are going to attach a sleeve cuff to this part, okay? So I went ahead to cut out my cuff on fold. That is the cuff fabric, and also the lining part is joined together on fold. So the length of it is 10 inches. I went ahead to measure according to the circumference of my hand, okay, like this. You're going to measure this part of your hand like this. Let it be firm so that when it comes in here, you are going to have a little bit of allowance. But from this part, ensure that it is very firm so that your hand can pass in, okay? And the length of mine was 9 inches. I added 1 inch for seam allowance and that's 10 inches. So I measured it out and the width of it is 4.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead now and attach it to my sleeve, okay? After that, I will just go on and hem the mouth and hem my garment all round, and that is it for this kimono, guys. Isn't it so easy? It is very, very simple and beginner friendly. Let me know in the comment section if you recreate this style, okay? I'll go ahead now to finish my work and I'll come back and show you the finished look.
So guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial and this is the finished look of our cowl kimono. You would agree with me that it came out so beautifully. Don't you just love it? It is looking so beautiful, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like, share, and also if you haven't subscribed, guys, please go ahead and do so, okay? More tutorials are coming up. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.